Good morning, guys. Bank fishing video here. Map guide. It's on the Skerries bank and near Portlandville, the Shambles bank. This is a map of the Shambles area, just off Weymouth. You can see the Portlandville there, the Shambles. It sort of signifies a 10 and a 20, so I'm assuming that's meters. And it's just a sandbank caused through nature of the tides in that area, large area. I think it's about 1,000 meters long, so it's pretty long. And you can drift fish it for plaice and turbot and brill and things like that. So shallower in places. And if you want to do a bit of bass fishing, you can fish the race there, where it's very choppy, a lot of tide runs through. That's quite good for bass as well. I'm sure there's a few wrecks which aren't too far away also. And it's an area very close to Weymouth. There's a marina just off Portland there, and it's quite expensive there, but you can have a boat there. We can go on a charter boat. This is a section view of it, and the areas where you're going to pick the turbot off are, well, generally you'll just drift it, I assume, and just from my experience, you just drift and you get lucky, so to speak. But they'll be hanging out in areas where they're sheltering from the tide, and where the bait fish generally get sort of spun off over the top. So all the little gullies and cracks and crevices and slopey bits and places like that, they'll be on that side. They'll be on the the non-fast bit of the tide, so they'll be sheltering, sitting there in ambush. And so this is a section view of it. Like I say, it's about 1,000 meters long, 10-20 meters deep in places, depends what the tide's doing. And you probably want to fish it on, well, any tide's a good tide really, but that area I'd imagine quite biggish tides, I would say. But locals would probably tell you something different. You'd sort of get it down to a fine art, whether low or high water is best. You're looking for a species like this, a plaice. This is a very large plaice. It looks like one caught from Norway, and that's the sort of rig you would use. You just drift. You have a little boom, and you can either fish just a small hook. That's the fish for turbot like this, with like a sand eel or a mackerel fillet, something like that. Strip of mackerel, get a bass that way as well, but you get a flat fish like that. If you want to fish for a plaice, you want to fish sort of size 1 hooks, 1/0 with ragworm. But your turbot there, you just allow quite a bit of line and just let it drift. And then you have the Skerries, which is not so far away. It's Dartmouth, Brixham, Dartmouth, Salcombe, that sort of area. And it's a similar sort of thing, and it's sort of good reputation for plaice in March time, I believe, April. I know some chaps fish Salcombe Harbour and do quite well around about that time. You can get a boat from either Dartmouth or Brixham or something like that, Salcombe maybe, and they'll take you there. I think even a boat from Plymouth goes there as well. I fished it years ago. We got some ragworm from the tackle shop, and I think the boat was called, what was it called? Jennifer Ann of Dart it was called. And we were just sort of drifting ragworm baits and getting fishing a rig similar to this with some beads on, smallest sort of hooks, lead. It seems like the beads, black and green, are pretty effective, and that's sort of pretty much the rig really. Doesn't tangle that much. You can use one like this, the 3-way swivel, something like that. Rotating swivel above so it doesn't tangle. Have a bead between another swivel and have a weight on it. You can sort of do it yourself like that. You get some cheap swivels off Temu, something like that, if you want to spend too much money. All sorts of things you can do. But yeah, they're good eating fish. This lady here has caught a good one. And yeah, you can definitely tell the tap 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 of a plaice. You probably want to use braid for something like that. It's a good bite indication with braid. £20 braid, £25 braid, something like that would be good. And yeah, relatively smallish hooks, ragworm there, there's a good place there. Can't mistake because of the knobbly head and the orange spots. Very chunky fat fish. And yeah, so to go on a charter boat for the day, you're probably looking at about 80 quid, something like that. £70 for 8 hours, something like that inshore. Whether bait's provided or not, sometimes you have to get your own bait on top of that. It just depends. Some skippers are different. I'd say 60, 70, £80 for a day doing that sort of thing for sort of 8 hours. I would say definitely worthwhile. Springtime, autumn time best. And this is a picture of the race itself, Portland Bill. That's actually on Portland Bill, and that's the race. You can see the current there, the tides, and that yacht. He's actually hugging. He's tight into the shore. It's quite dangerous because of the rocks, but that's where the tide is less, closer in. You see, because he's not got a very big horsepower engine. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching.